Hi there, and thank you for joining me here again. Today, I wanted to talk to you about my new job, white privilege, and taking ownership of your own outcomes. This is a video that I had originally recorded for Monday, but there was an issue with the audio file. Didn't realize that it had gotten corrupted or deleted or something until after it was published, which is a bit embarrassing. So I hope you'll forgive me for that. And now I'm re-recording it. Anyway, on Monday I started my new job as a mail carrier. I spent the whole week in orientation, and this is a job that I've always wanted. Since I was a kid, I've wanted to be a mailman, and just everything worked out that I got the job. I was looking for a new career, looking to start a new path. There happened to be a posting in my town for a mailman, and I was qualified for it, did very well on the test and everything else, and thank God they hired me. Anyway, I was really excited about the new opportunity, so I was sharing the news with people in my community, and I had an old familiar conversation that I thought I'd share. Um, the person I was speaking to, for a little context, was a middle-aged white man. And he told me that he had once applied for the same job, but he didn't get it. And he said that he didn't get the job because he's white. And when he said that, I just rolled my eyes super hard, because that's such an old familiar lie that I've heard told over and over and over again my whole life. And to be honest with you, I'm sick and tired of hearing it. So I thought I would address it. Sometimes it gets phrased as, I didn't get the job because I'm white or because I'm a man, or, they were doing a diversity hire, or, it's this just affirmative action crap or whatever. But it's never true. And it's always just kicking down and not taking ownership of your own outcome, not taking ownership for the things that you can control. And I don't know about anybody else, but I've applied for a lot of jobs over the years, and not once have I ever applied for a job and not gotten it, and then been told that I didn't get the job because of my skin color, my race or ethnicity, my gender, my national origin, language, anything like that. Because they can't. They can't tell you that. It definitely happens. It absolutely happens. But it does not tend to happen to white men. Sorry to burst your bubble there. It just does not tend to happen to white men. And the whole thing is part of an old trope about, how white men are, obviously more qualified, and the company gave the job to someone less qualified, some person of color, or some woman, or God forbid, some woman of color. And it's just so obnoxious, and I hate it. Um, there was a scene in the movie American History X that even brought this up. Um, his father was talking to him about this position that came up as a firefighter, and two guys applied for it, a white guy and a black guy. And the white guy scored higher on the test than the black guy did, but the black guy got the job because of diversity. And how is it fair that someone who scored lower on the test got the job, and now they're going to put people's lives in jeopardy, and blah blah blah. Long before that movie came out, I was hearing that story being told, and it's always the same story, and it's always framed exactly the same way. I've got a buddy who knows a guy who yada yada yada. Nobody can ever give you a name. Nobody can ever, show you the news story, or an op-ed about it actually happening, or give you any proof whatsoever. But it's always, I know a guy who knows a guy who didn't get a job, because they hired someone less qualified, and they're black, or they're a woman, or whatever. And it's never true. If it was, then they'd be able to tell you who it was. And it's just one of those things that gets passed along, and the story gets retold and retold and retold until it becomes true. It's one of those alternative facts. Um, that isn't new to this age, this generation. This is something that has happened probably forever. People repeat a lie over and over and over again until it becomes true. And we need to do something about that. When you hear someone saying that, you need to hold people to account. You know that's it. And the person that I was talking to probably didn't get the job that he applied for one of 10,000 legitimate reasons. Maybe there was someone else who was more qualified. Maybe there was someone else who scored higher on the test. Maybe they interviewed better. Maybe they showed up to the interview dressed nicer. Maybe their work history didn't have a bunch of gaps in it, or their work history is more relevant, or maybe they caught the interviewer on a bad day, or something. But there are things that you can control, and there are things you can't. And you can control how you go to an interview. You can control your work history for the most part, or at least be able to speak to it, explain why your work history looks like it does. Why your resume is what your resume is. You can study harder for the entrance exam. You can take a course and learn more about it. You can do a lot to affect your own outcomes. And you don't need to kick down. And you don't need to spread lies like, I didn't get the job because I'm white. I mean, that's weak. It's pathetic. And it needs to stop. So take ownership for yourself and take ownership for your own outcomes. Because ultimately, you're responsible for what happens to you. That's it. No one else is. You are responsible for you. Anyway, that's all that I had for now. Bit of a tirade, but this is something that genuinely bothers me, and something that I kind of needed to get off my chest, to be perfectly frank. But that's all that I had for now. Please like or dislike if you didn't like the video. Interact conscientiously in the comments section below. Please subscribe if you're not subscribed. It really helps me out. I would love to get this channel monetized one day. I would love to reach that 1,000 subscriber mark, and I would love to try to influence people to be better and to act better and to improve their own lives. So the easiest way you can do that is just hitting that subscribe button. Interacting with me in the comments section, letting me know, what types of videos do you want to see? What topics do you want to hear about? Do you disagree with what I have to say? And do you want to give me an alternative point of view? By all means, let's talk about it. And until I see you again, may peace and blessings be on you and on those you love. Good night.